Good morning, everyone. This is Gretchen Vogel. I have channeled information in trance meditation for more than 4.5 decades. This is um, probably part 3 of creating reality. I wanted to not use the meditation language this morning and just talk about these first 2 modules or videos uh, in a very practical, more pragmatic way, because the language of the meditation may seem a little inaccessible to some. So let's talk about focus first. Focusing, if you've watched the 2, it's the potential from the earth herself that we focus in order to manifest anything. So, but let's talk about the focus aspect of it first. Um, I'll always tell you when this is not my material, and this is not my material, but I thought it would be something fun to share. And believe me, I am not Katie Porter when it comes to illustrations. So bear with me. When they talked about focusing through the chakra systems in the body, um, in another course that I took, the chakras were described as being both, looking like this. And then I sort of remembered that and thought, well, that's really cool in terms of focusing, because if you think of the water in the funnel again, let's look at that. Let's take my silly drawing away while we talk about the funnel again. There's a certain amount of energy inherent in the water in the top of the funnel. There's a certain amount of energy inherent in the water as it is moving down the funnel. But because of the confinement and constriction of the water, which symbolizes energy or carries an energy of its own as an element, obviously, we all know that from flooding, when it comes down the end of the funnel, it has tremendous energy. I live across from a river. Maybe I'll show you that sometime on a video. In fact, I'm looking right at it right now. When the ice broke about 3 weeks ago, and there were these enormous chunks of ice like shooting into the air as they hit the big rocks. It's really quite exciting. Often it happens at night, so we don't get to see it, but this happened in the morning. So we did get to see it. We posted it on Facebook, whatever. Anyway, the water in the river is like the funnel. It's confined and contained, and therefore the river itself has more, is expressing more energy potential than the rain that falls upon our fields that eventually makes its way to the river. So I went to a workshop that had the description of the chakra system as being equal, both in front and in back of the body. And I am no artist, so bear with me. So here, of course, we have the heart chakra, the throat chakra, and the third eye chakra. And if we think about focusing energy through the chakras, it might be really fun to think about it as being drawn from behind us into the focus of our physical body, and then put out into universe again with the desire or the imagery of what we want to manifest. Now, we've got a lot more coming in this series, but I just wanted to go over focus and also the Earth's own potential. All right, so Um, in terms of materialization, think about that. There is nothing here that is not of the earth. All the atoms, molecules, and I have a brother who's an astrophysicist, so he knows the terms for really small particles. Um, but just in a general sense, most of us call them like atoms or molecules is the smallest thing we can relate to, right? All of that for all of manifestation throughout the entire evolution of our planet is already here. An occasional meteorite hits us, that might add some other material. Obviously, the sun energizes us. That's something that comes from outside the planet. But the actual materials are of the planet. Our bodies are of the planet. My glasses are of the planet. My trying to keep Ukrainian colors in these March 2022 videos come from the planet. Now, it's easy to see how the cotton would come from the planet because we know that cotton grows, cotton gets picked, cotton is made into clothing. I have no idea what these little beads are made out of. Um, the I brought a stone over. I collect stones from the property, and this one's very cool. Uh, by the way, I had one of my other brothers was a geophysicist, and he could tell you exactly what this was, but I can't. But the really fun thing about this rock that I found is it has quartz crystals on top of it. And this came from our property way, way up. We've got hundreds and hundreds of acres here in conservation land. And we're sort of perched down near the river in our little house. It's easy to understand how this is of the earth. And, most of our body is replaced every 7 years um, on average. So what we eat does become us in a sense. It's easy for us to even relate to our body as being of the earth because it's of what we eat. So, but then as I thought about this of the earth, I started to look around my house. And there were certainly things that I could relate to as being of the earth. You can see a lot of wood sort of in the background here, paneling, the railing. Um, but what about this little beautiful ceramic Mother Mary, Divine Feminine, that I brought out specifically for prayers for the Ukraine? The material that this is made out of, ceramics are often derived from earth itself. And then I was thinking about, I'm sure you've seen the houses that they're building with laser printing, but the material is like almost a mud hut revisited, but made into these really gorgeous shapes and textures, which is really fun. So there are some things that are easy to relate to. And I've got a salt lamp right in front of me. That would be easy to relate to. But what about my little trusty old tape recorder, which I had forever? Doesn't even have a back on it anymore. But it still works. And the earbuds, you know, the metal we could understand because iron ore is derived from the earth. But then as I started to look around, I mean, one of the things I wanted to bring up was my yoga block, but I didn't because, it's downstairs most of the time and then I'd have to take it back down. So then what about the brush? What about the plastic in the brush? Petrochemicals, no doubt. And that, turn this way. A little traveling tube of toothpaste that we have. I used to travel a lot more than I do now, obviously. Um, Not only is the packaging, but the toothpaste that's in here is derived from the earth. No matter how we take apart the atoms and molecules and put them back together in the form of predominantly plastic in our um, in the way that we're manipulating materialization now, nothing can happen here in materialization that is not a part of our planet. And so when we say, or when they said to me, I talk in the kind of generic way, that everything that was in potential to exist on this planet is already here in some potential form, whether it's been brought into the potential, like through manufacturing. It is all of the earth. It is all our planet. Of course, the sunlight comes in. That's not from our planet. We can see the starlight and the moonlight, but you know what I mean. When we talk about manifesting or materialization, it's the potential of the planet is what it is drawn from, because in the physical metaphor, nothing can exist physically that isn't this planet. So those are two thoughts on the focus, and then the vortex that we draw manifestation from is the potential that's around the planet. So I wanted to clarify those two things a little bit this morning, and then we'll get started with the next piece of the puzzle after this. Thank you so much for coming. Website howspiritworks.com. Please share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you again real soon. And prayers for this world. Okay. Thank you.